Good morning. We will begin our service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phones and listen quietly as the sounding of the kancho is an invitation to settle our hearts and minds as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you. Welcome everyone, and a special aloha to our guest speaker, Ms. Mahina Paishon. Thank you all for joining us at our 2025 Baccalaureate Service, honoring graduates of all educational levels. This year we have one honoree, Riley Asakura, who is graduating from Konawaina High School. We are happy that he and his family have joined us for today's service. Also, of course, it is also Mother's Day today, so we wish all moms a very happy Mother's Day. I am Joey Guzman, and I will serve as your MC. Assisting at the temple with technical support are Zoom crew members Alan Matsumoto and Darren and Lynn Katayama. Corinne Chong is our organist, and Betty Takioka will lead the singing. Now let us start the service by rising for the Vandana and Tisarana led by Reverend Blaine. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with him.
Namo tassa, bhagavato, arahato, samma sambuddhassa. 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 Namo tassa, bhagavato, arahato, samma Vutnamanda, 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 Vutnamanda.
Please remain standing as Reverend Blaine will now share an aspiration.
Please join me in Gasho. On this beautiful morning, we gather as friends in the Dharma, as fellow travelers along the journey of life. Today, we celebrate the accomplishments of our graduate as we send him on his journey with all our love and best wishes. Guided by the Buddha's teachings, may we awaken to the working of dynamic wisdom and compassion that sustains and nurtures our lives. May the words of Tibetan Master Ringu Tulku Rinpoche be a reminder of how we should cultivate a heart of gratitude, living with curiosity, wonder, and joy. I am a student. I have always been a student as long as I can remember, and it is a pleasure to be a student. It is a pleasure to learn that I don't know. It is a pleasure to learn that I already know. It is a pleasure to learn that I was mistaken. It is a pleasure to learn from great masters. It's a joy to learn by sharing what I learned. It's a joy to learn how to be what I am. I seek to learn about the world around me. I seek to learn about what I actually am. I seek to learn how to be a proper human being. Clouds show me the nature of my world. Rivers show me the nature of myself. Babies show me how to be more human. I am a student, and I will be a student as long as I live, and it is a pleasure to be a student. In our troubled world, let us endeavor to listen to the Buddha Dharma with not just our ears, but with our entire being, and strive to embody the teachings in all that we do for the welfare and happiness of all. May we always take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows us the way in this life, the Dharma, the way of understanding and love, and the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. In trusting in the Buddha of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call Amida's name in profound gratitude, abiding joy, and a heart-centered awareness for the miracle of living. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please be seated. We will now have the offering of incense. We invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving towards the back. Please use both incense burners. Let us now observe a moment of silent meditation.
Namandam, 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 namandam.
Reverend Blaine will lead us in chanting Gasho to Amida. Words can be found on the laminated handouts in the back of the pews and on the screen.
Composed by the Reverend Kenru Suji, Gasho to Amida is a hymn that praises the Buddha of infinite light and life and celebrates the activity of great compassion which sustains our lives. This hymn reminds us that we should humbly approach life with our palms pressed together in reverence, gratitude, and joy. We chant these words so that we may hear the Dharma and awaken to the virtues of the Buddha. May our voices together express our profound gratitude and appreciation for the Buddha's great benevolence. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida Namanna, bu namanna, bu namanna, bu namanna, bu namanna, bu namanna, 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 namanna.
Please rise for singing of the Gatha, Living Gratefully. Words can be found on page 132 in the purple Gatha book and on the screen. Again, page 132 in the purple Gatha book.
Let's all live in harmony, trying to live as one. All of us together, always, living life with Buddha's love. Hand in hand we move along. Let's all live in peace. Strive to be the best we can, living gratefully. Kindness to every living thing, showing our gratitude, loving all our friends and family, showing thanks for all they do. Hand in hand we move along. Let's all live in peace. Strive to be the best we can, living gratefully.
You may be seated. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our accomplished guest speaker, Ms. Mahina Paishon. Ms. Paishon is co-founder and chief executive officer of Vai Vai Collective, a regenerative urban oasis, a kipuka for weaving community, culture, and commerce. As a social entrepreneur who also led several educational and cultural organizations, her vision and mission are one and the same: to catalyze positive, lasting change for Hawaii in one generation. Most notably, Mahina is the founding executive director of Pai Pai o He'eia, the first modern Hawaiian fish pond that created groundbreaking Aina-based educational programming for students from preschool through postdoctoral levels. She gained public sector experience as a policy program manager for NOAA's Papahanao Mokuakea Marine National Monument, which at the time was the world's single largest marine managed area, advancing the integration of both indigenous and Western scientific methodologies. Mahina also served as head of school for 2 accredited, award-winning, culture-based charter schools. Additionally, she serves on the State of Hawaii Tourism Authority Board and as its vice chair, and is outgoing commissioner on the Leeward Planning Commission for the County of Hawaii. Today, Mahina is part of Aina Aloha Economic Futures Movement to address long-standing socioeconomic inequities that the COVID-19 pandemic underscored, and to bring to life a resilient economy through our core values of Aina Aloha, a deep and abiding love for Hawaii's communities and natural environments. Please give a warm welcoming aloha to Ms. Mahina Paishon.
Aloha and namo amida butsu. Aloha kako. Thank you, Reverend Higa, for your kind invitation to provide this year's baccalaureate address. It's truly a joy and deep honor to join all of you today here at Kona Hongwanji, a place of reflection, tradition, and compassion as we honor Riley Asakura, son of Reese Asakura and Kim Littner, longtime members of Kona Hongwanji, and also to the entire class of 2025 graduating from Konawaina High School and all the schools here in 2 weeks on Hawaii Island. I also extend my aloha and blessings of good health and joy to all of the mothers and mother figures in our lives. Aloha lama kuahine. Happy Mother's Day. Today, we gather to witness the beginning of something extraordinary, a journey forward. To you, Riley, a graduate who dreams of becoming an aeronautical engineer, your aspirations remind us that even the sky is not the limit. The same curiosity and courage that have lifted rockets into space and technology that explores faraway galaxies to assess planetary conditions that may one day sustain human life are now beckoning to you. And you're not alone. You stand on the shoulders of giants from this very place, this Aina Kamaha'o, remarkable and astonishing Kona land that has always raised leaders and servants who dream beyond the horizon. Perfect. Think of Ellison Onizuka, whom we all have so much affection for, born right here in Kealakekua, a proud Konawaina graduate, just like many of you. He became the first Asian American astronaut and the first person of Japanese ancestry in space. But more than that, he carried Hawaii with him. When he looked back at Earth, he saw not boundaries, but possibilities. He once said, "Your vision is not limited but what your eyes can see, but what your mind can imagine," as Reverend Lane had remarked with great curiosity. That same spirit lives in you and in all of us. Consider Yoshi Oyakawa, also a Konawaina graduate, Olympic gold medalist in 1952, world record holder, and later a coach who gave back more than he ever took. He proved that discipline, heart, and humility go further than talent alone. Then there's Shane Dorian, local Hapa boy, big wave surfer from Kailua Kona. He became a global icon, not just for his bravery, but for his innovation, developing inflatable wetsuits that now saves lives, particularly in big surf conditions. He teaches us that leadership means using your gifts and your talents to protect and uplift others. And of course, we go back even further to Kamehameha Ekahi, Kamehameha I, born in North Kohala, a strategic and visionary who unified the islands under one kingdom, not just with strength, but with wisdom and compassion. While the multi-decade Civil War campaign to unify these islands between 1783 and 1810 resulted in tragic loss of human life, Kamehameha I directed his entire retinue of warriors and subjects to rebuild massive public works and food systems after the devastation of war, to assure that the entire populace would be cared for and would prosper under a peaceful, consolidated government. One such example is right here in adjacent Ahupua Kahalu'u, where Kamehameha himself scaled the indigenous and ingenious ulu breadfruit cloud drip systems that enabled intensive production of dry land taro, sweet potato, yams, and sugarcane. These food forests were planted and maintained to benefit from the natural phenomenon where our Konakaiopua, our rain clouds, develop over the western flanks of Holalai and Mauna Loa volcanoes, creating, next slide please, creating a unique and favorable climate for food crops. Acres upon acres of ulu trees were specifically planted to capture water as they drip down from the trunks of these large, tall trees from anywhere from 60 feet to even 100 feet in height into specialized raised beds and water storage and distribution systems This technology fed the entire populace of Kailua Kona as far as to communities at Hononau and assured local food security and economy. I took liberty to delve a bit into this local example of how science, technology, and engineering can provide not only personal benefit, but lasting benefit to your home and to your community. These are truly phenomenal examples of leadership and civic service. However, leadership and moments of triumph or inspiration do not occur in a neat, progressive, straight line, building on one success after the other. Times of challenge are equally educational and informative. And I dare even to say, I know this moment of trying to get through challenge firsthand, a moment when I felt unsure and a bit beaten down. So I'll go a little bit into my own personal story, restoring He'eia Fish Pond. Next slide, please. When I first set foot on the stones of He'eia Fish Pond, I didn't see ruin. I saw and felt possibility. The pond appeared abandoned and decrepit. Overgrown, mangrove choked its edges. The Kuapa or fish pond wall, 1.3 miles of ancient wall, was nearly inaccessible, and a 30-foot wide breach in the wall caused the pond to run dry at every outgoing tide. Its ecology was out of balance, but deep in my na'au, I knew there was life still breathing there and that there was something to learn. I was only 21 at the time, a recent college graduate with more passion than certainty, when I made the decision to co-found a nonprofit to restore the sacred 88-acre, 800-year-old fish pond. Everyone laughed and they said it couldn't be done. Others told me it wasn't worth the effort. Why would you want to apply your college degree towards restoring something that didn't have evident economic benefit? You know, at one point I was even receiving death threats from those who really want to stop this project. There were pressures to develop the project into luxury development. Even my former mentor tried to discourage me and unfortunately waged an effort to dissuade area kupuna, funders, and local policymakers and community leaders from supporting my objective to shift from commercial aquaculture that was profiting from a deteriorating cultural resource to an innovative community-led restoration and education effort that would reset the physical and ecological systems to sustain communities for possibly 10 generations to come. After all, in the 1990s and the early 2000s, many saw fish ponds as relics of the past, only useful if they produce fish, seaweed, or oysters. Few understood that fish ponds like He'eia are about so much more. They are about cultivating community with aloha, with compassion, and as Auntie Punani Burgess would say, cultivating a beloved community. I was scared. I didn't know how I would survive paying bills and such, let alone lead something of this scale. My credit cards were maxed out, just trying to buy supplies and tools to start restoration activities and to host volunteer work days. There were sleepless nights and tears and days where I absolutely questioned my choices. But what carried me was silence, the kind of silence that speaks truth and unconditional aloha for this aina. The silence that you might feel when you're visiting our forested areas of Keauhou, or the silence that you may hear when you're swimming out into our oceans. I believe deeply that if I took care of the land would take care of me, and that's exactly what happened. Our nonprofit's humble beginning started with a single $5,000 grant from Hawaii Community Foundation and a handful of dedicated volunteers. Slowly, stone by stone, we began to restore the fish pond wall. We cleared mangrove, restored water flow, and brought back life to a place once forgotten. Over time, the belief grew, not just in me, but in the collective. The greater community as a whole remembered how to work together towards a common purpose. And they restoring this 88-acre, 800-year-old pond. We were in turn being restored by this aina, this place, to live and act more like an independent, interdependent, whole and thriving community. Today, what began as a passion project has become a thriving, multi-million-dollar organization with over 20 staff interns. We've hosted tens of thousands of volunteers, students, world-class researchers, institutions, and philanthropic foundations. Welcome to Kupuna, and create a space where cultural practice, science, and environmental stewardship work hand in hand. And to continue this movement of fish pond restoration, we worked with other passionate individuals within our peer group and founded and championed a network of fish ponds that is now over 40+ organizations in membership, with now interest from our Pacific brothers and sisters to restore their fish pond systems for education, for local food security, culturalization, and to foster economic development objectives. So if I've learned anything, it's this: let your passion and love for what you do lead you, even when everything else tells you it can't be done. Heya Fish Pond wasn't just restored, it was reborn. And in that rebirth, I found myself, my purpose, and my kuleana. And although I shared a personal experience that was situated on Oahu, I have taken and applied those learnings from challenge, from success, from uncertainty, now to a burgeoning legacy into every context for which I am privileged to serve. From my time as school principal in Waimea to vice chair on the county's Leeward Planning Commission, as a crew member of the double hull voyaging canoe Makali'i, facilitating public-private high-stakes conversations, including Mauna Kea, and the 30-meter telescope, and Pohakuloa, and now as a small business owner and consultant. These are the kinds of people that Kona produces, that this beloved community of yours produces, that your parents have produced. And today you join them not just as a graduate, but as a dreamer, a builder, a future engineer who may one day design the aircraft or aircraft system that reach new frontiers, the systems that keep people safe in the air and in space. Your passion for aeronautics is more than a career path. It's a continuation of legacy of excellence, courage, and innovation. But even more powerful than your dreams is the foundation you stand on, the values passed down by your family and this community here. A strong work ethic that keeps you steady through challenges, a heart for civic service, always looking for ways to help, uplift, and lead with integrity, family rootedness that reminds you who you are and where you come from, and your Buddhist faith guiding you with compassion, mindfulness, and a quiet strength that speaks louder than words. These are not just values, they are your compass, and no matter how far your journey takes you, they will bring you back home with purpose. So all of the leaders that I spoke of today, including your community and family, let their stories and yours remind you that you can come from a small town and still shape the universe. That leadership doesn't require a medal or a title. It just requires you to start. Start with curiosity, start with care, start with something that matters to you. And as we gather today on Mother's Day, we take a moment again to bow with deep gratitude to all mothers and mother figures for their selfless love and boundless patience in each of our lives. Riley, Asakura, you are about to take your next step. And no matter how far you go, may you remember the teachings of your Buddhist faith, that you are never alone, that you are deeply accepted just as you are, and that the path forward is not only yours to walk, but also yours to illuminate. Congratulations and aloha. Final slide, please. My apologies, I think I misspelled one of the words. And if I may, I would like, if it's okay, Reverend, I'd like to just offer a quick mele or song, and as a small token of my aloha to all of you.
Akai na Hawaii, lo kahia kulike, olu olu kamanao, ha'a ha'a ke kulana, aho nui alana kilai. Akai na Hawaii, lo kahia kulike, olu olu kamanao, ha'a ha'a ke kulana, aho nui alana kilai. Aloha e, aloha e, aloha no.
Thank you for your inspiring message, Ms. Paishon. Now we'd like to call up our graduate honoree, Riley Asakura. Riley, will you please come up to be recognized? Please introduce your family members who are here today, and can you also tell us what your plans and aspirations are for the future?
Um, Good morning, everybody. My family, oh shit, my family here today. My grandma, Janet, my sister Lily, my auntie Darcy, Granny Diana, Jaden, Brennan, and Uncle Steven, and then my mom and dad are in the back, Kim and Reese. Thanks for recognizing me and supporting me through everything. In the future, I'm planning to go to either Arizona State University or Embry-Riddle University in Arizona. I'm gonna take up aerospace engineering, and I'm also gonna work towards a commercial pilot's license to try and become a pilot. And pilot or an engineer, I'm not too sure yet, but I wanna have like both, just in case I'm gonna have a degree and hopefully a pilot's license to just see what kind of career I get into, either engineering or becoming a commercial pilot. But that's my plan, so hopefully it happens, works out.
Now, Reverend Blaine and Kyodan President Linda Nagai would like to present a gift from the Konohangwaji Buddhist Temple. I'd like to call on Myrna Kunihiro to do a presentation from the BWA.
Sorry, we all just kind of switch roles here a little bit. But good morning, everybody, and thank you, Joey. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. On behalf of the Konahonganji Buddhist Women's Association, I want to start off by saying that the Buddhist Women's Association have been awarding scholarships for more than 50 years to graduating Konawaina High School seniors as they graduated and left the coffee lands of Kona to go off to college and on to great adventures. 51 years ago, I was fortunate enough to have received a scholarship as I headed off to Manoa. 39 years later, fast forward, And my son was also awarded the scholarship as he went off to Manoa and on his own great adventures. So there were many more in between and since then. But today we are very happy to award a scholarship to Riley, who's going to be graduating in a couple of weeks. And he'll be, he's been attending church with his grandma and helping out in the temple in many ways, including at our BWA events. So Riley, it is our pleasure to award you today's BWA scholarship as you head out to your own great adventures. And, Riley has a 4.09 GPA at Konawaina. So I think that makes him, one of the valedictorians, right? Okay. And in addition to that, he's played basketball and did a lot of wonderful things. So let me share with you some of his things that he's accomplished. So as in a leadership role, he was 2 years captain for the varsity boys basketball team at Konawaina. He's also played, he was on the varsity team, basketball team for 4 years. He played baseball for 1 year. He bowled for 1 year. He was in the National Honor Society, as well as the Polynesian Club, the teen college. He was a teen college counselor internship to help other students get into college, which I think that's a great thing, Riley. Community service, he's volunteered to coach youth basketball via everybody's very familiar with the Stingrays basketball program. He's done volunteer at the Ironman World Championship. And as I said, he worked as a teen college counselor. He's worked at Randy Sully Chicken and Ribs, helping to cook chicken, prepare chicken, and at many of their community fundraising events. He's worked at West Hawaii Excavating, and with the Honganji Church, he was an active member of the church. He volunteered and participated in our church events, and he also went to help the Kona Honganji preschool. So with that, we say congratulations to Riley, and also to his parents and the grandparents. So congratulations, Kim and Reese, and Lily. I'm sure Lily has a lot to do with his success. Yeah, Lily. So we'd like to give you your scholarship, and our president has a few words. And remember, Riley, what Ms. Paishon said, that's not what your eye can see, but what your eyes can imagine.
Thank you, Claudia. Riley's mother, when I left Konahonganji for a while to move to Honolulu, she was one of my Dharma school students way back when. I don't know if she ever got the scholarship because I was in Honolulu at that time, but she was Dharma school student. Riley, on behalf of the Konahonganji Buddhist Women's Association, we are honored to give you the award for the scholarship, our $1,000 scholarship. And we commend you for your dedication to your studies, your outstanding academic achievements, ranking at the top of your graduating class, and your commitment to high school basketball, where you took on his leadership role as captain, team captain, as Claudia said. We also recognize your service as a team college counselor for your peers, generous contributions to the community through volunteer work and your youth basketball and Ironman event. You really, truly deserve to be recognized and feel very proud for the many accomplishments. May your future endeavors equally be successful and fulfilling. So congratulations, and wherever your destiny leads you, remember that Amida's love and compassion will always be with you.
family. Congratulations, Riley. Let's give him another big round of applause. Okay. And yes, now you can sit down. Reverend Blaine will now share a Dharma reflection.
So, on the spot, yeah. But good morning and congratulations, Riley. We're so happy to be able to celebrate your achievements and wish you well on your next adventure with all of our aloha and our best wishes. You know, I wish I could assure you that life would always be easy and that it would be filled, that it will always go according to plan, right? However, the truth is that life will often be difficult and unpredictable. As we know, the past few years have been challenging, right, to say the least. But we have thrived in the face of adversity because we learned how to adapt to a rapidly changing world. In Buddhism teaches that suffering occurs when we cling to the notion that life should be fixed and unchanging. However, despite this wish, the world is undergoing constant change, and we often have little control over what is happening. However, what we do have control over is how we respond to life's challenges. The Buddha's teachings help us to skillfully navigate the ups and downs of life and to see opportunity in every obstacle, right? It's not enough to just react to life, but how do we skillfully respond to life, right? And so we take this time to offer our praise and our gratitude for the unfolding of life and all of its beautiful complexities. This is why in Gassho Tomida, we chanted today, it's to live in this spirit of putting our hands together in reverence and gratitude for all that life enables us to experience. As we go through life, we discover that true growth and learning happens only when we are pushed to the edge of our comfort, that we learn the most from our struggles and our failures. The Buddha struggled for 6 years before sitting under the Bodhi tree to become awakened. And Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu, studied and practiced for 20 years before realizing his own failure and how he was ultimately embraced by Mida's infinite love and compassion. But when we perceive our challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, we discover our inner strength and our ability to persevere and to thrive. This radical shift in our perspective is what the Zen master Shunryu Suzuki calls having the beginner's mind. He said, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. What he's asking us to do is to always keep an open mind, a mind that is spacious and not rigid or closed. This is the fundamental truth of the Buddha's teaching. We should always approach life with a sense of joyful wonder and mystery. And it teaches us how to experience life in the here and now, right? That each moment is perfect and unrepeatable. That each new day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to share. Each of us has a light within that needs to be kindled, and when we take the time to cultivate that internal light, we are able to share who we are and our gifts with the world. Every day is an opportunity to learn and joyfully accept that we do not know everything, because not knowing is the door to true wisdom. Accepting our not knowing leads to humility and a sense of reverence for the gift of learning about ourselves and the world around us. And the Dharma teaches us how to see ourselves with clarity. Buddhism's emphasis on self-knowledge cultivates wisdom, which lessens our fear of the unknown. Right? As we know, science is about discovery and learning and going beyond the boundaries, right? That there are infinite worlds of possibilities in the gift of learning. However, we need to take the initiative to learn about ourselves and the world around us. Learning is a lifelong process, which opens up endless avenues of discovery, adventure, and possibilities. Like Mahina mentioned in her journey, right? There are times of challenge and struggle, and things don't go always the way we planned. When I was graduating from college on the mainland, I had applied for graduate school, and I didn't get into the graduate school I wanted to. And so I was left kind of thinking, what do I do with my life, right? And so I came home, thought maybe for a year, reapply and, go back to the mainland. I never imagined moving home to Hawaii, or let alone moving back to the Big Island. But if that didn't happen, other opportunities would not have presented themselves, right? And I wouldn't be standing here today. And so, right, life will give us lots of challenges, but lots of opportunities, right? The glass is always half empty or half full, depending on how we perceive it to be, right? And so, what the Buddha taught was that we should think critically and broadly about our lives, but it does not require us to become perfect, because no one is perfect. But what we're asked to do is to become true and real human beings, to always strive to live up to our fullest potential and to live our lives in service to others. Like in the Golden Chain, we will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, try to say pure and beautiful words, and try to do pure and beautiful deeds. How many of us can say we do all these things all the time? Right? That's the point of being human, right? We are imperfect beings that are capable of such love, beauty, and compassion if we only try. And we should always be mindful of our capacity for the exact opposite, as we so often see in our world today. These are universal values that you have learned at home, and in this temple, you are loved and embraced just as you are. Your parents and teachers have guided and helped you along this path toward becoming a true and real human being. You have learned about the power of gratitude and how we take time to be grateful for all the things that make our lives possible. We can do nothing else but to be blown away by the miracle of living and to bow in deep appreciation. You've learned about cultivating compassion for yourself and for extending that compassion to others, making the world just a little bit better. You've also learned that all things in life are interconnected, just like we learn in science and learn through the lessons of the fish pond, that all things are connected and we need each other, right? The Hawaiian term of kuleana, right, of responsibility is a reciprocal responsibility between our stewardship of others and the land and others taking care of us as well, right? That is what I hope you will take with you wherever you journey. And so, wherever you go, and whatever you do, simply rely on the Dharma as your guide and trust in the love of your family and the Buddha. This will help you to meet any challenge you encounter along this amazing journey we call life, with courage, with compassion, and with grace. Best wishes on the journey ahead, and may you always be guided by the Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Blaine. Riley's cousin Brennan will now lead us in unison reading of The Golden Chain of Love. Words can be found on the laminated handouts in the back of the pews and on the screen.
I am a link in the Meet of Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every little thing and protect who I will be than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds. No, I don't. Only unhappiness, but not that of others. May every link in the mean of Buddha's country of love stay bright and strong, and may we attend Buddhities. It does. No one does. No one does.
Thank you, Brandon. We will now have the offertory presentation. Mahalo, everyone, for your generous contributions which help sustain our temple. Please rise as we will conclude this service with the singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
You may be seated. This concludes today's service. Here are some announcements. Upcoming schedule of services, events, and reminders. Next Sunday, May 18th, we will observe Gotane service at 10 o'clock a.m. This service celebrates Shinran Shonin's birthday. Reverend Blaine will share the Gotane message. Sunday, May 25th, Minister's Assistant Linda Nagai will officiate and share a Dharma message at the 10 o'clock a.m. Dharma Family Service. Sunday, June 1st, Boy Scouts will sponsor the annual Military Remembrance Service at 10 o'clock a.m. Guest speaker will be the Honorable Mayor of the County of Hawaii, Mr. Kimo Alameda. Sunday, June 8th, we will celebrate Father's Day at the 10 o'clock a.m. service. Guest speaker will be Kona native Raymond Takeui Jr., who is active with Mo'iliili Hongwanji, and has served as its past president. I got all the Hawaiian words right, I think. Okay. Heads up, the Obon Festival, which is a kickoff for the Bon season, will be held on Sunday, June 15th at Maka'eo Pavilion at the Old Airport. There will be lots of craft fair and food booths, plus taiko performances, and of course, fun Bon dancing. The craft fair opens at 2 o'clock p.m. Bone dancing will start at 4 o'clock p.m. and end at 7 o'clock p.m. Please mark your calendars and join us for good eats and joyful bond dancing. Are there any other announcements?
Oh, I just want to give just another mahalo to Mahina, my friend. We got to know each other through our work on Vibrant Hawaii's board. That's a local nonprofit serving Hawaii Island, building community resiliency. And so had the honor and the privilege of getting to know her over the past few years, and she served as chair of Vibrant Hawaii as well. But again, mahalo for your words of wisdom and for sharing your mana'o with us. Thank you.
Did you folks notice our beautiful new koa podium today? Anybody notice we got our new podium? Oh, so I see Maki didn't notice. But, we got this is a gift from the Buddhist Women's Association. As you remember, when I come to church, I always remind you folks that we are celebrating our 125th anniversary in September, and we've been collecting donations. And the donations are going for us to purchase gifts like this that we are giving to the church. If you've been to the social hall, you may have noticed that we also have new drapes in the social hall, and that was also a gift from the Buddhist Women's Association. So please, if you already donated, thank you very much. But if you haven't donated, please consider making a donation to our 125th celebration. Thank you.
Just wanted to welcome Katie Tsui and her husband and her in-laws. Katie, would you like to introduce them, please? Yeah, just stand there and then. Names? Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Those of you on Zoom, you may leave at any time. In closing, a great big mahalo to Ms. Mahina Paishon for being our guest speaker. Congratulations to Riley, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Thank you to Lynn Katayama, Mildred Kaneko, and anyone else who brought goodies to share. Your attendance today is most sincerely appreciated. Please stay healthy and safe, and we hope to see you at future services.